I'm Arul Kumar Karthikeyan. I'm part of Manufacturing and Technology BU. Under the MNT BU, we have a domain practice called Aftermarket Services, and I'm part of that team. I've been interacting with MBA joinees and interns in our group, and there have been few questions which keep coming again and again. I thought that I'll make a video out of it and see whether it can help people make their career choices. The first question that comes is that, how did you become a domain consultant? Okay. In my case, I started as a developer in the ERP space, that's enterprise resource planning software, and that gave me an opportunity to work with the business teams. And as part of the work experience, I gained knowledge in the processes across different industries. In some way, I would say that laid the foundation for me to begin my journey in this direction. So back in 2002, I was working for a gentleman named Jim Beaton. He was part of the HP Palo Alto team, and he nudged me to go do my MBA. And the MBA gave me the theoretical foundation that's needed in order to understand how decisions are made in the real world. So by putting these two pieces together, that's the functional experience and the theoretical background, I was able to move to the domain consulting space. Now, the next question that comes is, what is domain consulting? What do people do in Wipro as a domain consultant? So I'll take myself as an example and explain how things work. First thing I want to say is I don't like daily plans because it's very tough to maintain the task for a given day. So I do a weekly plan. So that way, if you see, around 3 days in a week, I spend trying to improve the features that are available in the product, that is the IoT platform that we have built, and to improve the maintainability of the software. So on one side, I interact with the OEMs and dealers to understand what's happening in their work environment and then see what can be modified as a feature to increase value to them. The second thing I do is work with the ops team to understand what are their challenges in maintaining the software and see what can be tweaked in the product in order to improve their maintainability. So 3 days gone in this, so left with 2 days. So one day I used to work with the pre-sales and sales team to promote this solution into other industries. Today we operate in the industrial manufacturing space. We want to get into auto sector and white goods. So that's where I focus from day on. Then the last day I spend working with the internal teams like finance and WMG, because unless we get the right budgets at the right time, it becomes a challenge. Second, we need to get the right people. So I try to work with these people to solve those problems. The next area that I want to highlight is what are the typical challenges that we face when you actually go on this journey. The fact of the matter is we are an IT services company. So that means most of our systems and processes are designed to support the typical IT service business. So when we are going into this domain consulting space and then see whether we can make investment in the initial phase and recoup non-linear revenues at a later point of time, it becomes a challenge. So there are two types of challenges. One is internal, another is external. The internal challenge is that the systems and people are not ready. So that means even though the management is willing to go in this direction, we wouldn't get the right support to find the right people and also get the investment budgets that are needed to run these programs. The second challenge is external, and that one is the perception of Wipro itself in the marketplace. We are seen as an IT services provider. So the moment we talk about consulting, it becomes a little challenge to make that work with a customer. So as a consultant, from the first point of contact with the customer, we need to have a communication plan to address this perception issue. So I say these are the two main challenges that we need to keep in mind while working in this space. The next question which comes is, when we run into these kind of challenges, who do I look for solutions? So given the problems that I actually have three circles within Wipro whom I lean on to solve this problem. The first one is my friends network in the finance function. They teach what are the ways we can structure our P&L and figure out a way to solve the budgetary issues that actually come along. That's one thing. The second network I leverage is the WMG team. As I said, finding right people to work with you it could be challenging. So the WMG team, who has access to the complete free pool, will be able to help us in solving the problem. The third one is the perception issue, and for that we need to work with the strategic marketing team. So in MNTBU we have a team dedicated for that, and by working very closely with them, we actually solve problems. Just to let you know, our platform has been written as a case study by IDC. NS Bala was interviewed by the IoT Journal. So these things give a lot of publicity for us, and then it gives an opportunity for us to change the perception. We can use these case studies written by the analysts, we can use the interviews captured by these magazines, and then show that we are not just an IT service provider, but we are actually a team which can do an end-to-end activity in particular space. The next thing that comes in people's mind is that, okay, so if there are so many challenges, what keeps me going? And what are the motivating factors? I would say there are three things. One is that it has given the opportunity to create something new and make people use it and find value in it. Just to give an example, in India alone, there were around 7 machines which were stolen, and our platform helped recover 6 out of 7. The one which we couldn't trace and recover, it crossed the geographical boundary and we lost connectivity with the assets because of the SIM card issue. But otherwise, any machine which was in India was fully recovered. So that's the value we could actually give to our users. The second thing is that with the 12-member team, we are going to hit $1 million revenue mark. So that's the non-linearity aspect. So we now have a profitable business, and it is actually riding on IP-based revenue. So that is the new thing that we have been able to achieve. The third thing, it's a cyclical, is that by reducing the number of assets which actually put out of work, we are actually reducing the parts that can either end up in a landfill or in a junkyard. So there is an environmental benefit to what we are trying to do. So I see these three things falling in line with my philosophy, and I see that it as a motivating factor for me to continue this. All right, then comes the last question, which is basically, what are the success factors? To be honest with you, it's a very difficult question, but I'm still going to take a strike at it and then see whether it appeals to you. I think there are three things relevant to be successful in this role. One is that the person should be a tech-savvy business guy or a business-savvy tech guy, because we need to balance the today's value and the ability to scale in the future. So the choices have to be made accordingly and appropriately. The second thing is that when we are on this journey, because the systems and processes are not in place, we may face a lot of failures, and so we should be willing to accept public failures and not let that hurt our ego. We all can accept failures in private space, but accepting failure in public space could be a little challenging at the beginning. The third one is, as I said, to overcome the hurdles that we face, we need to have our own network. So one should be able to build relationship with the critical functions, support functions within our organization, and that allows us to solve some of the problems that we typically face on a day-to-day basis. So these three things, if one can actually figure a way to adopt, I believe that the person will be able to be successful. So those are the few nuggets I thought I will share with you. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.